Welcome to PamoJah Roots. Welcome to PamoJah Roots. PamoJah Roots. Pam- 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 PamoJah Roots. Conscious rhythm. Conscious rhythms. PamoJah Roots.
Greetings and salutations, Hong Kong and worldwide massive, and welcome to another episode of PamoJah Roots podcast. And we are coming live from Eton Hotel. Eton Hotel is between Yaomatei and Jordan on 380 Nathan Road. It has a food hall that has got different kind of restaurants. It has a buffet downstairs. They have rooms available and a bar on the 4th floor called Terrible Baby. There are DJs who come through every weekend playing there, so if you have time, you can come there on the 4th floor on Saturdays, Fridays, and even every day and have a drink, have a meal, and have fun and have DJs playing. So welcome to PamoJah Roots, and today my guest is Alex Croft.
Hello. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, man, I'm very glad that I invited you. And so just a brief knowledge about PamoJah. PamoJah means together in Swahili.
Okay.
And so PamoJah roots mean that we all come from the same roots and, different forests, but they're all connected with the roots. And so
Right.
me and you go way back. We've been together for we've DJed in events and we've done really community service and all that together for some time. I know you've been doing good stuff.
We always been in somehow in the reggae scene in Hong Kong together for a while, yeah, man.
Yeah, we were just counting the years. Is more than 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So Alex Croft is a multi-talented artist whose artwork has been featured on walls of buildings, on famous sidewalks in Hong Kong and estates, schools, right?
Yeah.
And his artwork is eye-catching, it's unique, one of a kind, and really stunning and
Thank
very,
you, Ray.
very, very nice, man. Apart from that, Alex Croft is also a selector, a reggae DJ who plays conscious, good vibes, and he's DJed in events with even festivals like the Ska Festival.
Scar Festival, yeah. I was
Ye-
definitely involved a little bit in that. Yeah, two times, two of them.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
we've together, me and you, we've been on the poster for some time, like on reggae
all
events.
different reggae nights, dance hall night, and also heavy Hong Kong sound system nights with some international artists from around the world.
And
Could you
DJs.
imagine?
Yeah, man. So it's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm really glad that you took your time off to come. And we get to know more who is Alex Croft because you really are not in the public eye that much. I even checked your on your Insta. You're not there. It's just your artwork.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
more of a laid
I
back.
try to just focus more on the artwork. I'm not really a social media type of person. I don't upload my daily living and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just focus on the artwork and for me, like the reggae music is something I do it's just for fun and for passion. It's not something I promote on, like, I'm not really promoting myself as a DJ online, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and I think I want to continue. Like, it's difficult, like there's so many things I like to do, but I think art is the thing I need to focus the most on. So I try to just keep the social media for myself, just about my artwork, really.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so we're going to start off like back in the day as a kid. What kind of
Yeah.
music did you listen to coming from a musical household?
yeah, so as so I grew up in I was born in England, but then grew up in Saudi Arabia, and my dad has always got himself into a band somehow. Everywhere we live, he somehow got himself into bands, different bands, playing with different musicians, and so always he played the trumpet and harmonica, and he's a singer. So he'd always be doing some kind of music with his friends. He'd be connecting with musicians and socializing on the weekend with musicians, like just hanging out with some of the band members and stuff. When they weren't doing music, they would go hang out and go to each other's houses, and so he really, yeah, always had music around. And when I go back to England, my mother's family, my mother's dad, he's a bit of a performer, a bit of an artist himself, actually. So
Nice.
he likes to sing a song and do a little dance and stuff. So I was, from a young age, sort of shown some ways of expressing yourself, I guess. But music, I was never very good at music. I found it difficult when I was in school, but I remember being like scared of playing in front of people when we were learning, like the recorder and those kind of simple stuff. I found it difficult, and yeah. So later on, I started to understand a bit more about DJing and collecting music and playing. When I got into university, I was a bit more exposed to DJing. Yeah, but as a youngster, my father listened to loads of different music, really. But I'd say one of the big influences would have been like the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan, the legendary guitarist himself, and a lot of soul music, a lot of stuff like Ray Charles and Otis Redding, and soul, a lot of soul. So, and then stuff like T-Rex and AC/DC, and those were kind of music that I was exposed to as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Do you still listen to the same?
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
music?
I still love all those music. Yeah, Ray Charles definitely probably one of my favorite artists. Yeah.
At that time, like, did you go to places where your dad was performing that you could see him?
Yeah, sometimes I would get to go. He so as he's a teacher, he'd always somehow be able to take advantage of the music studio in the school.
Yeah.
And they would sometimes use that to practice and a place to bring people and practice, and sometimes the band would be made up of some other teachers involved, so there would be times where the band would be asked to play for certain events, like different kind of recreation clubs in Saudi Arabia, but the big shows that like sometimes their band would be asked to do like New Year's Eve parties in Saudi Arabia different times, but one of the biggest ones they did in Saudi Arabia was they played for the American Army base there.
Oh.
There was like a few thousand soldiers in Saudi Arabia that got to, and their band played there, and I can't really think of the songs that they were playing, but it would be like stuff like Brown Eyed Girl and things like
nice. Oldies.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember some of it, but a lot of soul music. They did a lot of soul music and like kind of like a mix of covers, many covers, cover band. But apparently that was one of the biggest ones they did in Saudi Arabia. The soldiers went crazy,
Nice.
like because they're kind of a bit restricted out there in seeing music, like live music, and as they're in the army base, they had a chance to let some steam off, so apparently it's a legendary evening.
Nice.
Yeah,
Were you also part of the crowd? Did
no
you?
I just hear stories about that time, but
nice.
like as I got older, then we moved back to England, and then for a year, and then we went to Bahrain, and in Bahrain my dad started another band with some really talented musicians there, and they were doing sort of similar stuff, and I started learning guitar from the guitarist from his band.
Yeah.
His name's Manny. He's an absolute legend, guitar player and guitarist, musician. So he's
Big up.
still in Bahrain, still doing music, still playing in a band out there. And my dad
Nice.
always speaks super highly of that guy. So Manny,
Big up. Respect. Respect.
yeah.
What about your?
So what was the?
Yeah. Your artwork as a
Oh.
kid. How did you blend in with the music?
So my dad's always had his music thing going on, but at the same time he's an artist and art teacher. Before he became an art teacher, he studied sculpture, and so his degree he chose to do was in PE and art, so physical education and art. So he specialized in printing and ceramics, but his specialty was ceramics. So as a kid in Saudi Arabia, actually I was always surrounded by him making ceramic pottery and stuff like that. So I would see him going through the process of making the art, and one thing I remember was like in our house we had a big a garage door where we could like slide it open. It was all black, painted black, and it was like as a young kid, my mum gave me like a big box of chalk, and just told me go crazy, like draw on the wall. So that was something we did all the time. We'd draw on the wall and then wipe it off and draw again. And at home we'd be doing stuff on the table, making some painting with our hands or something. I'm talking about when I was like 5 or 6. You know? Yes. So maybe even younger. As far as I can remember.
Yeah.
We've been playing around with paint and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. So, music and art together at the same time.
Yeah. My dad had the art going all through my whole life, and then music, the band thing came later. I think he also did a bit of singing when I was even younger. I know his mother asked him to sing for him when he was small, so he kind of got comfortable singing when he was a kid. His mum would ask him to sing for him. When after she had drink too much, she'd tell him to sing.
That's history now, right?
In a karaoke bar, in a karaoke club, they will go every weekend to sing
Nice.
karaoke.
Oh, wow. Well, it is paid off until today, so that's great, man. And big up to your father, man. He's a very good guy. I've met him a couple of times in events when he was singing with the Red Stripes. Like, that's
One of the old T-shirts.
yeah, man. He's still a legend to me, like the old T-shirts, because the Red Stripes is like one of the bands that I've seen that are many, and what they produce is really amazing. Like the energy they bring, the ska reggae they bring, and everything is really, uplifting and very nice. And I got to DJ with them at Outlook Festival,
Oh yeah.
2015, something like
In
that.
Maonshan area.
True. Yeah, man. So, man, thanks for that piece of history.
Yeah. So the Red Stripes came after a few years of living in Hong Kong. My dad was doing some music, but he didn't have a band, I don't think. And then he hired Paul to come as an art teacher to from England. Paul was in England, and my dad hired him as an art teacher to come to Hong Kong. And then when they started working together, they started talking about the music they liked together. And they start talking about the old ska music, and the Specials was probably one of the main influences. And then Prince Buster and the older ska stuff. Then they said, oh, well, let's make a band together. And they got one of the other teachers who plays saxophone together. There's three of them. Cam, and they start from there, and then they start finding more and more musicians, and now the band is maybe 9 or 10 people, sometimes more.
Yeah, I've seen there quite like many of them on the stage, and it's nice, man.
So it's kind of grown and grown. So they started with covers, started doing covers that they like, and then they started writing their original songs. And the Reggae Ska Festival will be coming up again soon. It's hopefully soon.
Okay.
Not exactly sure the date, but definitely there's going to be one, I think, this year. And there's some other exciting news in the pipeline.
Yeah, man.
That
man.
I don't
Later
know
on.
if you've heard about the Wailers coming. The Wailers going to play in Hong Kong.
No, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, it's secret actually.
Now it's out.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Wailers are going to be coming to Hong Kong to play at the Rugby Sevens in April.
Okay.
But they're going to do a show with the Red Stripes supporting the Wailers. It's going to be on April the 5th.
Okay. Thanks for letting us
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I will look up for that.
It hasn't been announced yet, but
Okay.
maybe it just has.
Nice, man. Okay,
So
so
it's come to that. It's come to the Red Stripes really doing lots and lots of gigs and making festivals every year since, well, they didn't through COVID, but every time they can, they try and do some events. They bring some bands from different parts of Asia, and they've been collaborating, and they've been to Japan, and I went to Japan with them and saw them play there, and I was also asked to go to Taiwan, and I DJ'd at their event in Taiwan. We had a great time.
nice.
Brought records there, and it was great. It was a good one.
Man, awesome,
With
man.
karaoke. Karaoke if you see Mouse was
I
just
saw.
with karaoke the
Yeah.
other day. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Paul, the bass player of Red Stripes, he's kind of the main organizer, the person who brings all the people together and organizes majority of all the Red Stripes stuff. And they're gonna have a 7-inch vinyl release, one single soon coming
Okay.
out.
Okay.
It's gonna be available in Hong Kong, a limited number of copies.
Oh.
It's called Lion. The song is called Lion.
Lion.
It's
Okay.
It's a new original by the Red Stripes.
Man, thanks so much for all the info.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about actually. There's a lot
Yeah,
to talk
man.
about.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, like, what was your dream as a kid growing up? Like, did your family have any expectations of you, or were you just a free kid who decided, I'll be what I want to be, you know?
Well, as a kid, I actually thinking about it. I was recently reminded by my mum what I wanted to be as a kid. She said I wanted to be a test car driver. I was obsessed with cars when I was young. Like small, I would just anything with wheels. I was fascinated by it. And then as I got older, I started to watch like programs like Top Gear. In England now, I was just obsessed by these cars and new technology of cars and classic cars.
Yeah.
And like my mum's dad, he did stock car racing in back in England, which is where you have a big loop, and they just go around the circuit like this, and it was all kind of small racing teams, like you just do it with one or two people. You customize your car by yourself and then go around these tracks. I'd always hear stories about this, and it was, I guess it's part of the inspiration of the interest in it.
Nice.
And then as I got older, I was really into mountain biking and bicycles. So when I was in school, I was kind of a class clown and a bit of messing around, and I didn't focus enough, but I thought at the time I would like to be a professional mountain bike racing or riding. And then art had always been there. I'd always been interested in sports, and art was kind of on the side, but my main focus was more into like sports. And I thought like maybe certain type of sport, like I used to be really into swimming. Used to be do a lot of swimming racing, but I think as I got older, a bit more rebellious, like doing like skateboarding sort of opened my mind up to sort of look at the city in a different way. Before skateboarding, I would do rollerblading in the 90s. So it's kind of like related to something with wheels.
Yeah.
And it give you this sense of freedom,
Yeah.
And I think rollerblading and skateboarding and mountain biking or riding street, like it opens your mind up to look at the environment in a different way, because you're sort of searching for, how could I ride here, how could I use the skateboard like this, or how can I jump from here to here with the bike, or how can I slide along this curb or
railing,
rail.
yeah.
I'm scared of rails, but that sort of way of thinking translated into street art, I think, very naturally, like looking and searching for kind of ways to express. And I realized later, like graffiti and street art was a very quick way of getting your work, doing some work, and also a way for people to see it quite quickly. So, and when we started getting into graffiti, when I was in school, I was like, how old are we? 15. had a friend. He used to write mellow. It was his tag, and he was like, "Oh, have you heard about this thing, the street art? That people are making stickers and people are doing their tags on stickers and sticking them everywhere in Australia. You should see it." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool."
Mhm.
And then we went on holiday one time to Paris. I was like 14 or 15, and I was just walking around in Paris looking at all the trains covered in graffiti, inside, outside, all the stations covered with graffiti. I was like, what is this, you know? So then I got to see, I just started paying attention to it more, you know? And then started like picking up on different artists that you see around. And then when I come back to Hong Kong, I started paying more attention to it. Then I wanted to know who these people were. And we, as a crew of us in school, we made a crew of four or five artists, and we made a crew called Time for Change. It's T4C. We used to write T4C, and that was our graffiti crew. We did stencils, we did tagging, we did pieces, we did throw ups, graffiti, like we kind of mixed together everything, street art and graffiti all at the same time. So it kind of started there with the graffiti, and then I realized maybe there's a chance of being an artist. So I started to really focus more on that.
Okay. Nice.
So from cars to art.
To art. And which one do you still have the passion for cars and the bicycles?
Yeah, bicycle definitely. Yeah. Not cars, not cars so much.
Okay.
It's still too expensive in Hong Kong for this hobby.
Yeah, true.
It's more expensive than convenient actually. People say, "Oh, you should get a car for your business. It'll be good." I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Financially, not yet making sense.
Cool, man. So when did you like have the passion for DJing? Like, how did the DJing come up? Because you showed me some records that you had, right? The records you just came with, and told me those are the records that
my dad had collected these before we'd moved to Saudi Arabia. He had bought a bunch of records, because before digital was record, so they had a lot of records in the house. And the story is like, when we moved to, I think it was when we moved to Bahrain, or I think it was when we moved to Hong Kong. My mum had to go back to the house in England and sort out all the stuff, and she ended up throwing out loads of stuff, loads of records. And she took out a few, and these are some that she did keep, which are special to me. This was original Exodus. Original Exodus. Proper.
Yeah,
I think
man.
the date of this is well, you can no longer see it, but
On the side.
it's kind of tired out.
Yeah.
And just lucky enough to also have this
Peter
Bush
Tosh.
Doctor, Peter Tosh, Bush Doctor.
Yeah, man. These are classics, man. Classics.
This one's got Pick Myself Up.
Yeah. All these
Well,
songs are
the
classics,
Bush Doctor,
man.
obviously. Creation. Stand Firm.
Yeah.
But this one is definitely one of my favorite albums ever of all my reggae
Gregory
albums.
Isaacs.
Is the Cool Ruler,
the late Gregory
the
Isaacs.
Cool Ruler album.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
with
man.
songs like Uncle Joe. But my two favorite songs on here are Party in the Slum and Raving Tonight. These are great songs, man. And they just Gregory's style has
Yeah.
I've always loved it. So
Nice.
these are special. These came from that collection of records that were almost thrown away, and these made it back. And then only later, like I knew these artists, I listened
Yeah.
to them,
Yeah.
but then I realized we actually did have these at home.
Mm.
So then I just took them and was like, I used to play this Gregory Isaacs all the time, and I still play it, but I don't really bring it. I don't really bring this out to DJ. Only sometimes. Only sometimes.
Special occasions.
Yeah. Only if the vibes is nice. Yeah.
So how did it come to the DJing part? Because you already had a
so
collection.
When I went to university, I went to Kingston University, and in southwest London.
Mm.
And while I was there, I got to meet lots of different artists studying art, but at the same time I got to meet music students.
Mm.
And one of the guys who was studying music production at the time was really into drum and bass, and he had a set of decks in his room, and he was buying vinyl, and he was buying drum and bass vinyl, and it was a little bit of jungle, but mostly just drum and bass, and like he was his name's Felix Catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
Felix Clemson, or Catharsis is DJ name. He started a record label called Lifestyle Records with his friend at the time when we were just finishing our first year of uni. And then he carried on making this record label over the few years. He's actually stopped making it now. He stopped the label due to some bullshit that happened. He fell out with the guy who was making music with him, but he was really the source of showing me like sort of how he was mixing the tunes together. He would, using decks and buying vinyl, and then because of what he was doing, he would attract more people interested in drum and bass together, and would just bring more people in, and then people would come with their records, and like. So later, after our first year, in our first year we were in halls of residence. So on his table in his room he had his decks and his computer just like this behind it, and he would start recording his sets. And then they started doing drum and bass nights in the town, and he made a scene. He was creating a scene, and then another guy who lived right next to him, called Tom, he started a metal night. He was into metal and different types of rock and indie music, and he doesn't like drum and bass. So they live together and they're good friends. But he's kind of like, fuck drum and bass. We're gonna go do our own night. So they were doing their rock night, and he was doing his drum and bass nights, and then Felix was working in Fabric in London, which is one of the biggest clubs for music, underground music in London. And then later he had some nights in Fabric too, I think. So he's DJed all over England, but he kind of showed me like, you can get this song and put them together, and then you can mix. And I would play around with his records a little bit. I'm trying to blend.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck, I better get some of my own. So when I had a bit of extra money, I'd go to the record shop in our town. It's called Banquet Records. Big up Banquet Records, because they are one of the legendary record shops in England, actually, in London, out to southwest London. They've been going for a long time. They had loads of artists come through there. So sometimes like reggae labels would come there and bring their records, and they have a small section for reggae music.
Yeah.
So I'd sometimes go through there, and if I had an extra like £20 to spend, I might buy 2 records or one, or maybe like once a month I'd try and get one.
Nice.
So so then I started slowly buying like some records in England. I would go to the shop, I would listen to them in the shop and then test it. So then that was Felix would let me use his decks,
Yeah.
and then later we end up living together
Oh.
for a few years. So I was like, we're right next to each other. We had this big house. We shared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five people shared a house. We have 5 bedroom house.
Yeah.
With a big living room, big garden, and I live opposite to Felix, and he's producing drum and bass. So
Wow.
every day I would hear him making music, like playing with all the noises on the computer. And it's like, oh my god, fuck! He would like obsess about sound, you know.
Wow.
Totally obsessed. So to have a break from that, I need to bring some reggae.
To cool down the pace.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Gregor Isaac would say, cool down the pace.
yeah, bring.
Whoa, man.
You know, just started like that, and then after I had just like maybe a stack of records like this, and then come back to Hong Kong, and went back to some of the heavy Hong Kong nights. I think we did go to some before, but they were mainly drum and bass at the time. Like, we started off with drum and bass.
Yeah, I remember in the 2010, 11.
Yeah. They were mostly drum and bass nights, and then later it started getting more reggae and dub influence, and then I talked to Fi one time. I was like, yeah, you know, I actually have brought a few records back. I have a few records from England, some reggae stuff. He's like, yeah, come one time. It's just you can start the night off, you know. So quite a lot of times I would be the first DJ, spin some records, and then everybody moved to CDJ.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So I was always just like, my collection's always mainly been in vinyl, so I was kind of always used my vinyl. So the times when they would bring an extra turntable, then I would have a chance to play, you know.
Yeah, I know those days to hire turntables was either space or nobody's playing vinyl, everyone is playing CDJs.
Yeah, kind of always digital, and then vinyl was like inconvenience because they were kind of left in the dust somewhere.
Yes,
you had to get
man.
them out and make space for them. So
yeah, man, I remember helping doing that stuff at Triple X.
yeah.
Triple X, when I started also playing, in the beginning I wanted to play CDJs, but they only had turntables.
Oh.
So big up Fi, heavy Hong Kong, he had to bring his CDJs to Triple X, and I think that's where also we played together. You vinyl and then me CDJs. Man.
So they were using Serato or something.
Yes.
They were used the turntable, but with Serato
Yes.
vinyl. And then they realized digital is better with this stuff.
Yeah, because so they had to hire CDJs every reggae event for like me to play, or DJ Mafio. Big up Mafio or Man Logic.
That's funny,
Big
right?
up Man Logic. So
now it's the other way around.
Yeah, true.
You have to hire
turntables
if you're only with vinyl, or someone has to bring their turntable.
Yeah. So how did you transition from vinyl to also playing on the CDJs?
Oh, just the limitation of vinyl, you know. And certain venues don't have turntables, but I try to stick with vinyl mainly because I enjoy playing like that. But nowadays, I do use some CDJ sometimes. Like if I want to play new stuff that I can't get hold of, on record, or just some stuff that you love, you know, that you don't have on
in
record,
vinyl.
Use the CDJ for this, but I think one of the first nights I did, it was in basement. I think it was basement. I was Sessions Hong Kong when they were going, which was Pak Yang
Pak
and
Yang, I remember them.
Jesse's event they would do together. I play stuff like I think Ghost Town was one of the first songs I played that night. I remember it very clearly. Like some people showed up, which I never expected to that night, and like it was fun. It was nice. Like it was nice to just be playing only on CDJ and just playing the songs you love, you know, and with no pressure.
Yeah.
Just music you love.
Needle on, needle off, or vibrations.
Yeah, none of that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's a good thing sometimes with CDJ, but I think for reggae it's all about selection.
Yeah.
And really playing the things that you love, you know. Yeah.
Do you still collect vinyl?
Yeah.
You do do you buy?
Yeah.
What's your source? Bandcamp or?
I buy a lot of records from Dub Vendor. Big up Dub Vendor.
Big up. Okay.
Yeah, definitely one of the top reggae sites to get new stuff, and also repressed old stuff. And they're great. And Jawagis is another great website. This is secret information. No.
Now it's
the
out.
Jawagis and Dub Vendor, probably the two main sources. I don't use Bandcamp.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like to go through and see the new stuff. That's like kind of focused on reggae. It has a strong reggae focus, you know.
Yeah.
And the good thing with Dub Vendor is they link up with all the producers in England and around the world. They send them new vinyl all the time. So there's always cool new stuff to get there.
Nice. So recommended Dub Vendors.
Dub Vendor.
Wow, man, that's.
But and there's also Lion Vibes in Brixton. They have an online shop. But when I go to England, I go to Lion Vibes in Brixton. I can go through the records there. Lion Vibes also top record shop.
Nice,
yeah,
man.
really good. They do this thing called Selector Thursday. So every Thursdays they have different selector come and play, and they give the opportunity to like new selectors, young selectors, old selectors, people who have collected records for a long time. They're quite cool about that. Yeah.
I follow them, and I have seen them having all kind of selectors and selectresses come in, and they play just the vinyl. There's a small crowd of people right there.
They have a tiny shop where they have the sound system in the shop. And if you ask nicely, if you like one of they have a turntable in the corner that you can listen with headphones, but if you ask them nicely, they'll play the song on the sound system so you can listen a bit more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you have any dubplate?
Dub plates. I only have one actually. It's from Toots and the Maytals.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Man.
But I managed to get one dub plate for the Red Stripes off Toots. Not long actually before he passed away.
Man,
that was
nice.
organized by Johnny Osborne's DJ Fata, who came with Johnny Osborne.
Yeah, we were there. I played. Did the Red Stripes also perform?
Yes,
they did.
Yeah, that was in XXX in Taiko Choi. Yeah.
True.
So Fata, Soul Stereo, from Paris. He helped me get the dub plate from Toots.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I saw him during the COVID. He was DJing a lot live.
Yeah.
South Stereo. Okay. Yeah, man.
From his house.
Yes, yeah, yeah. He has all this collection behind him of vinyls,
Yeah.
45s, like, yes,
Yeah, a
you
lot of
know,
records. He's got a bad habit.
well, big up, yeah, man.
That's what it is, a bit of a habit, you know, this
Yeah,
record
man.
stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, man. So your art exhibitions, your art, like, it evolved while you're in university, and then you came back and decided to also focus on art.
Yeah, so I was still like doing graffiti while I was in university.
Mm.
While I was studying foundation, like I was in one class, and then some of the people in my, because some of the classes would mix with other groups for different projects. They mix us all up, and then
Mm.
I heard one of one of the ladies, Pippa. She told
Yeah.
us. She told me, "Oh, you should meet Tom. He's another graffiti artist. He's in the same like he's in the same group as us, but in a different class."
Yeah.
Um, at that time, we were studying like we're doing a range of stuff in foundation. We do illustration,
Mm.
fine art, animation, fashion,
Wow.
and another one. I forgot. What else did we do? Anyway, so yeah, I finally got to meet Tom. Tom was like kind of like opened my eyes to the London graffiti scene, and yeah, he writes for Tom for. He's from BRS crew, which is a old time crew from London.
Nice.
It stands for Beers, Team Beers, BRS, and he would take me out to paint some spots around the area that we lived in and stuff, and we went down and paint on the train tracks one time, and so he would show me some cool spots where we could go and chill and paint, and we we connect a lot about graffiti and share lots of inspirational artists that we like both, and it's good to have someone to paint with because you can both kind of look out for each other.
Mm. That's great.
So that was in university. Got bit more into graffiti, like the graffiti side of stuff, like lettering, and then when I came back to Hong Kong in 2012, this was like between my degree. I hadn't started my main degree, if I remember correctly. 2012, and I was doing some graffiti around the city,
Mm.
and God, the guy who owns God, has seen some of my work, because actually I had done a commission in Sai Kung for a restaurant called The Ranch. I was doing a lot of characters at that time, and lettering was kind of like more of this secretive stuff, but I also do characters. And then so started like got a commission in Sai Kung, and I think the guy from God had seen my work, and then he called me to come and talk to him about the project. They had two walls to paint. One of them was in Sai Kung, and one of them was in Central. And I was like, oh, can I paint the Sai Kung wall first, because I don't know what to do in Central. Yeah, I didn't have any ideas like coming that were strong.
Yeah.
So I did the Sai Kung wall first, and I was just focusing on my characters, and I kind of did like the combination between their little sub-brand Delay No More and my characters. And then I took more time to think about it, and then God have some patterns of old buildings that they use, and I was always told about Kowloon Wall City. My friend would tell me stories about Kowloon Wall City when she was in school in Hong Kong. Carly, she would tell me when she would pass it every morning going to school when she was young.
Yeah.
And before it got knocked down. Don't know if it was 97 or 94 when it got knocked down, but but she had lots of memories of the place, and she could walk past it and stuff. And then she told me about it, and I was like, "Wow, this place seems like quite mysterious and cool." So then she's like, "Oh, by the way, there's this book called The City of Darkness. You have to look at it." And it's a photography book by a photographer called Greg Girard, and he had documented the Kowloon Wall city so well in that book that when I opened the page and I saw the picture of the football pitch outside the Kowloon Wall city and then just a flat view of it, I was like, I need to paint something like this on a wall to kind of pay homage to the style of building in Hong Kong. Like I wanted to sort of make a kind of like a little tribute to the style of the older buildings. You know, that was my idea, and it was inspired by GOD pattern, but also mainly inspired by the Greg Girard book.
Nice, man.
So, and I did that painting in 2012, in the end of 2012. And at the time, they had said to me, "Yeah, we have this wall. We could redo it every year. We could do different stuff every year." But after doing that wall, just sit there for 4 years, and then later, I think it must have been 2014, when Instagram was sort of starting off.
Yeah.
When the first iPhones had the app.
Okay.
For Instagram. I think it was then. Maybe 2013, 2014 was like the early iPhone days. Then later, after 4 years, you know, the social media thing started.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, the wall became more popular, and people were just taking pictures with their on their social media, and then it slowly grew more and more popular. That wall became an iconic painting somehow. Yeah. So after doing that work, I was ready to move away from that style, and I wanted to do other stuff. I was drawing in different ways. I was doing different types of painting, and then moved away from building style. I just wanted to do different type of artwork. Also doing some graffiti and stuff. But then I realized over time, like, there's something about it. There's something about it that people are that attracts, that interests and attracts people. And I think going, like, simplifying it down, it's like the old style of buildings. You know, like when you there's something about the architecture in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
When we look at the older buildings where people have lived in for some time and created they create character. Each little individual unit over time, as people move in and out of the spaces, starts building character. And I think that's what I really like about the architecture in Hong Kong. People say, "Oh, it's ugly and stuff," but yeah, it's not like pleasant to look at, but it has character, you know.
Yeah, man.
So that's, you know, not every single thing is the same. Not all the windows are the same. Not everything's tidy.
Yeah.
But this builds the character. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this all around Hong Kong, the buildings.
Yeah. So
painting.
like only later on, I started
Yeah.
just like focusing on the buildings and patterns and stuff, and what I can do with patterns of buildings. And then kind of like keeping that theme going, and then like just exploring different ways of creating patterns and stuff. So yeah, like building up to my exhibition at the end of this month, which is next Friday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So we're going to be doing a little exhibition next Friday, and there will be theme around building stuff. And my dad also is having his paintings there too, which are themed around nature and Sai Kung area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
Just
man.
grab a drink.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, slowly, like, something about the buildings that I think is interesting and yeah, it also opens up conversation with people. Like people,
Mm.
people see it and then will talk about it and want
Yeah.
to talk about it. Or yeah,
Yeah, man. That's really nice, man. That's because I have seen one in Central. I've seen in Saikong, Shamshipo. Was it Taikok
Taiko Choi,
Chui?
Taiko Choi, yeah.
Yeah, we used to live around that area, so I remember just passing by and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this by Ale-" Actually, the day you were doing it, I passed by.
Yeah.
I remember you were
The
doing it.
reflection thing.
There was one that you were actually doing it at that time, and I passed by and came and said hello. Could be Taikok Chui or Shamshipo,
yeah.
and you were doing it. Yeah, man.
I can't remember. Maybe Taiko Choi. There's
Mm.
two in Taiko Choi now. They're not far from each other.
Nice, man. So,
One I did last year. Other
Yeah.
one I did a few years, 3 years ago.
and recently you did Lamborghini.
Yeah, yeah. That was my last project. Was asked to be involved with Lamborghini's 60th anniversary. So it's the 60th anniversary of the brand. They wanted to make an art car, and I was lucky enough to give them my ideas, and I created a pattern which was based off a 45 degrees angle. So
Mm.
it was it's a pattern which can tile together and fit together. It was more about the pattern and buildings rather than the style of Hong Kong buildings, I guess. A bit of Hong Kong style to it, not as much character, but more pattern. So yeah, we did the wall for them, and then also we did a wrap for the car, a
Yeah.
sticker wrap for the car.
Oh, it was a sticker.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was hand.
Yeah, it was supposed to be painted on the car. Originally, they wanted to paint the car, so that was cool.
Mm.
And they changed their mind to do a sticker, so
Mm.
more safe.
Oh, okay.
More safe for them, and also it was time frame was tight, so
Mm.
they didn't want spray paint to get into parts of the car where it shouldn't, because those things are a few million Hong Kong dollars. So it's
Nah.
nothing compared to. I mean, the artwork is nothing compared to the price of the
car.
cars. You know,
Yeah.
the artwork may be the same as the exhaust pipe or just the door handle or something.
But man, congrats and big up for being involved in such a huge project, because that's
Thank
really
you,
that's
thank you.
really
Yeah,
nice,
it's
man.
definitely one of my biggest clients that I've ever worked for, and biggest I guess you could say important projects so far in my career as an artist. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Oh man, I'm happy you're here. Now, this is something that I wanna ask you, because we all know how technology is taking over, right? Like without the social media, and not even social media alone, we have the metaverse coming in, the AI, and recently the Apple Vision. So
Yeah, I don't know much about the Apple Vision
yeah,
actually.
yeah, me too. I just saw the advert. So what's your take upon like the AI doing art instantly, like
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's interesting you
DJing.
asked me about that. Yeah.
and DJing too, because you know now they have like the metaverse where you can just DJ the metaverse and stuff like you can stuff like that.
I
And
think that's interesting.
what's your take on
Like,
that as an artist and a
If you
DJ?
could DJ in the metaverse, it could be fun. It could be a fun way to bring people from different places all together. I mean, music brings people together. You know, it always has. So opening up that opportunity to do it in another world, in a metaverse world, might be quite interesting, because like maybe you could do a reggae night in the metaverse, and people could come online and see it in the metaverse. I don't really know how it works. Like, with the metaverse thing? Like, do you have to be using VR and stuff, or is it?
I guess so.
Can you just log on to a website and join the party like that? I don't know what programs it's on and stuff. You know?
Yeah, true.
But I guess you could have people have their own like avatar or something and their own character that they can create.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It kind of reminds me of the old internet days when there was things like Habbo Hotel. Do you know that?
No.
Like kind of like a chat room.
Ah.
Where you could go into chat rooms, but you had a little character, and it was like
Okay. Yeah.
you could go in a room. There'd be like people there talking, like with just with chat,
Yeah.
like typing,
right.
you know. So I don't know. It's interesting, but I think AI art is also interesting too. It's kind of like the start of something new happening. I think some of the free AI art generating stuff are pretty shit and not very good quality.
Okay.
But from what I've seen, some of the programs where you pay for a subscription for it are actually pretty damn good. Like for generating ideas, and I think it's quite good. Like if you want to have a theme, or like you want to get some inspiration for like with a theme of something, like, and the classic scenario these days for artists is like, oh, we have this project. Like you would get a contact from a client or a person, right? They would say, I have this project. We have a very tight timeline.
Yeah.
And we have a very small budget.
Yeah.
So how can we speed up this process? Okay, as an artist, you need to take time to make the concept work, to do the drawing, to do the digitalization of it. This stuff really takes time. And if you want quality, you need more time. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I think if an artist can use the AI to generate some concepts and then work from the concepts, I think it can be quite helpful. If it's coming out with good quality stuff, and then as an artist, you could then select what's the good parts are, and you could take away the bad, use the good, or that might just sort of trigger another idea that you can use. So I think it's quite interesting where that AI art's going.
Okay.
Like it doesn't have the same feel of like when I spray and use spray paint on a canvas or on a wall. It doesn't have, it can't get that kind of handmade feel yet, and a texture. It's missing that, you know. But I think for some things it can help a lot, like, you know, those things I mentioned, like texture or handmade stuff. It doesn't apply to all the artwork. So maybe some artists who struggle to use different ways or different tools, they can use it for their advantage. They can certain things it's going to help us a lot with, like for movies. I've seen, like for film, it's going to help us. It's going to help people who want to create movies and film much easier, rather than them having to have a big budget to do an make a big set, or certain shots where they need to, for example, like hire a big boat or hire a helicopter. You know, this stuff costs a lot of money. Now you don't need a lot of money to do those things. So it's all about the ideas. And I watched something interesting about it. Is saying like the moment you ask the AI to copy something, that then is not original anymore. So if I say, can you make me a painting in the style of Picasso? In that moment you mention the other artist's name, you copyright, you're using the art of another artist that's been done before.
Yeah.
So if we can give unique ideas and prompts to the AI,
Yeah.
that can be more original, I think. So this can be, I think this is more original way of using it, because a lot of people will say something like, or use the AI like, can you write me a story in the style of, and they mention an artist.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
can
yeah.
you write me a song in the style of this?
So and
Or
so.
can you, you know?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
because we're always thinking of what inspires us, or people that have inspired us,
True.
and we don't need to do that. We don't need to always take ideas from other artists, you know,
Nice.
or as a start, as an inspiration. We can look at other artists' quality of work, but we don't need to take their style, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think AI can. I think it's going to develop, and certain ways it's going to be good.
Okay, that's, like I said, interesting to hear. So what I understand is that your take on AI is it's good if you have your own original ideas you want to implement with the AI, and it can shorten your time that you need to do the work. You can
Yeah.
work on a low budget.
Yeah.
And if you have a subscription, it's really good. You can have originality of your own work done by the
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
And the metaverse.
So what I heard was like, if I write a sentence into AI, to create a piece of a drawing or something, and you write a sentence which is similar to my sentence, we might have similar results, but they won't be exactly the same. It won't create the same image, even we type a similar sentence. If we type exactly the same thing, maybe we have the same result.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's where the art starts to come in. Is the language we use to how to use it. The way we explain the
Yeah.
thing that we are looking towards, or to take reference from, is how we explain ourselves. So I think this is part of, now is going to become part of the artwork.
Okay. Are you looking to embrace it?
Yeah.
Are you already using it?
I'm not already using it, but
Okay.
I've explored a bit. I haven't used it for any of my artwork yet,
Yeah. Okay.
but I might do in the near future, actually.
Okay.
Because like I said, sometimes client calls you, they say, oh, I have a tight budget, and I also have a very tight timeline, and I don't know what to do. You know, I'm like, yeah, okay, if I charge you for my time, that takes me is past your deadline, because it takes me time, you know.
Yeah.
It takes me a long time to create a concept. Takes me at least a week to make 2 or 3 good concepts.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't have a week, and then
Yeah.
charge them for that. They say, oh, it's too much money, I can't afford it. Okay, so let's do it faster.
Then
you know?
boom, the AI.
Maybe we can do it like that. I don't know yet. I haven't tried
Okay.
yet, but I think that might be ways to work, you know. And people, not every business has a big budget to
Yeah.
spend, and not everybody has a time. More and more people don't have time for this.
True. Speaking of time and projects, so what's your current project? What are you were talking about an exhibition that's gonna be from the 1st of March to the 3rd of March.
Yeah, so working towards this exhibition this week, I've been doing a bit of painting last week also, and I have some other works that I'm going to bring. So right now, just focusing on that, and looking at some other projects maybe coming up in March, but nothing yet confirmed. But also doing I have an interior painting decorating business as well. So we
Okay.
have some projects going on there. It's called A&B Art, A&B Art Limited. You can see on Instagram.
Yeah.
On Instagram is A&B Painting. A&B capital letters. And so we have this. Me and my partner Bobo, we together created this. So we have some projects going on there. We're doing a project in Kai Tak at the moment. It's still ongoing, but the project is a bit delayed. So art projects, nothing really coming up right now. Maybe something in March, but not yet confirmed.
And this exhibition you're about to do?
So the exhibition that we're gonna do this weekend is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday start at 6 o'clock. There will be some free drinks and light refreshments, and then the work will be there for that weekend. But so if you don't make it to the exhibition on Friday or Saturday, Sunday, you can see the work in Aftermath for the rest of March. So Aftermath have kindly offered me the space there to put the work up in Aftermath. So the following weekend the work will be up in Aftermath for the rest of March. So what we're going to do is a reggae party on the 29th of March
Okay.
in Aftermath to kind of celebrate the end of the art month in Hong Kong.
Nice.
So there's going to be a reggae night in Aftermath. It's going to be only vinyl selectors. So
Nice.
yeah,
nice,
all
nice.
vinyl on 29th of March. Reggae party to celebrate the artwork being in Aftermath and also kind of the art month of Hong Kong.
Cool, man. So this exhibition you're doing is in Sai Kung.
Yeah, it's going to be in Sai Kung this Friday at the Kunga's Gallery. It's near the Sai Kung Temple.
Cool, man. And how to get you, let's say, on your Instagram and Facebook? Just Alex
So
Croft.
my Instagram is Alex Croft Art. Yeah.
And
One
Facebook,
word.
Alex
Facebook.
Croft. You don't use that much.
I have an art page called Alex Croft Art and Photography
Yeah.
on Facebook. I don't put too much there, but I probably should put more, use it more.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I think we are
So
done.
that's,
We are done,
that's
and
a lot. We've covered a lot, I think. Yeah.
yeah, man. And I'm happy that you came through, and
Yeah,
I've
thank
learnt
you,
a
man.
lot, man. I've
Thanks a
learnt a
lot.
lot, man. PamoJah is boom. I've learnt a lot from you, and I'm really glad to be, part of
Thanks,
the
man.
lineup.
Thanks for having
DJing.
me here and part of your PamoJah Roots podcast. It's the
Yeah.
first podcast I've ever been on. So yeah, thanks.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
honored.
Yeah, I've
Big
never
up.
done a podcast before. So
Yeah,
it's-
man. So big
it's
up to
good,
the
man.
Red Stripes.
Yeah, big up PamoJah Roots. Big up to Ray Shizzle.
Yeah, man.
And
Alex
what
Croft.
he's doing here is real good for the scene
Yeah, man.
in Hong Kong. He's bringing artists together to talk about the work that they do.
Yeah,
and
man.
he's allowing us a platform to share our stuff.
Yeah, man.
So thank you so much, man. It's really,
I'm honored,
really
man.
good for the artists.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. So, man, that's it. PamoJah Roots. And yeah, we out.
See you guys.